Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
Pick a card. Any card. No, seriously. Pick any card that you want, as Konami decided to give us a skill that lets you search for literally any card in the game. Why the fuck did I do that? Now, I could use this skill to do something ethical, or I could continue my trend of recent cancer videos and continue being a vibe terrorist on the ladder. Let's search some floodgates. So here's today's deck list. Just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see some more content and more deck lists from me in the future, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. So something some of you keen-eyed viewers might have noticed is this deck list right now is looking a little bit empty. Now the reason for that is, basically this skill can be used with any archetype whatsoever. Literally any archetype that can put some amount of monsters in graveyard, you can use this skill with, and basically guarantee yourself any floodgate that you like. So the deck list I'm going to be showing in this video, or the archetype I'm going to be showing, is Chimera. But you do not need to use Chimera with it. The deck list doesn't really matter. I don't think it's even the best deck list or the best archetype to use with the skill. It's just an example of it, so I will show you the deck list I'm using, but you don't really need to play it. I just want to show off that you just want to use the skill in combination with a trap card collection or whichever floodgate you're looking for, and play whatever archetype you like. It does not matter. So the skill is called Deck Master Dark Magician Girl. And what the skill does, it's very simple. It takes Dark Magician Girl, slams it on the field. This is from outside of your deck, by the way. You don't even need to play the Dark Magician Girl. You flip it face up, activate your skill, and then based on the number of monsters you have in your graveyard, you excavate cards from the top of your deck, and then choose a card and add it to your hand. So in this example, I'm going to be showing you a deck that puts 11 cards in your graveyard, or potentially more, and then looks at the top 11 or more cards of your deck list, grabs a card, and adds it to your hand. So if you're playing 3 copies of a floodgate, you can just grab that floodgate. Or if you're playing a nice little collection of floodgates, depending on what matchup you're up against, you can probably choose the floodgate you want for that particular matchup. So for example, we're playing 3 floodgates in this video. We've got your Discord, this thing stops all synchro summoning, your non-fusion area, this stops all fusion summoning, and of course your mutually assured destruction, which is a card that has picked up in popularity a ton recently, because it turns off any sort of skill that requires your opponent to reveal. So things like Shinobird, things like Blue Eyes, things like your Sword Souls even Branded, any deck that requires you to look at their hand to reveal, to then search for things like their Hermanos or search for their Blue Eyes cards or whatever, completely turned off. It ruins all consistency of all those decks and stops them generating a shit ton of resources. It is an insane card right now, so yeah, just play as many floodgates as you want, play whatever floodgates you want, and you can search them whenever you want. So the deck list I'm only playing is Chimera, but like I said, don't take too much note of this deck list in particular. This is just an example deck list of something that can just dump a bunch of cards to graveyard. Feel free to go off and explore and look at whatever other archetypes you want to. Anything can use the skill, there's no restrictions on it. And yeah, let's show off some gameplay. Alright, so let's commit some war crimes. So first things first, we need to find a matchup where one of my 3 floodgate trap cards is useful against. Thankfully, we found one in Blue Eyes. If you go first versus Blue Eyes, reveal the trap card, make it so their hand is completely revealed, and they can't use their skill to search their deck list. So this hand is a little bit bricky, but it should be fine, because we can just use the Nightmare Apprentice to search for a starter. We could even keep the Fiend in hand for potential fusion summons. Alright, so I do want to reiterate this. You do not need to use this archetype or this deck at all for this skill. This skill is just, this archetype just being used as an example. I just chose any old archetype that can fill up the graveyard fairly easily. First thing that came to mind is just some sort of Orcus Chimera variant, because my brain is just Orcus pilled. But you do not need to play this archetype whatsoever. This is just the one that I happened to choose for the particular video. Because literally any archetype that fills up the graveyard, you play a certain amount of trap cards in your deck list, and then you're probably going to see them if you look at the top, like, 7 to 11 cards in your deck or whatever you're looking at based on whatever skill you're using. Alright, searching our deck for the Winged Beformet, so how do you pronounce that? I think I butchered the shit out of that. Alright, fusion summoning this guy, we can use the dude on field here and this guy in hand. This will then allow you to revive with the, well, discard with the Chimera. We can then revive with the big guy, and this card searches my deck for an illusion monster, I think, or a monster that mentions... What's card search for again? Yeah, an illusion monster. Alright, adding a copy of doesn't really matter, it's just going to be used as fusion or discard fodder anyway. Alright, then we're going to add this card back to hand. Alright, I actually don't want to use the Invader as fusion material, because I kind of want that in graveyard. So we're going to make this guy, we're going to use you and the illusion, or the Invader. Making this guy can send a Fiend to the graveyard, which will be the Vision Resonator. Searching my deck for the spell. Thinning out the deck as much as possible so we have as much chance as possible to hit the trap card. I can literally make it so that it's basically guaranteed to hit the trap card. You just play more copies of it, obviously. But I wanted to show off that you could play like this sort of weird build where you're playing a whole collection of floodgates, so you can basically pick and choose depending on what matchup you get. I'm most likely going to hit it anyway, considering I'm playing literally what's going to have like 11 cards in grave or some bullshit by the end of this combo. So if it's not in the top 11 cards, that's actually depressing. Alright, sending the Orcust. Use the Orcust effect, banishing itself, summoning the symbol. Making the link 2. It's also cool to note, the Dark Magician Girl is level 6, and Beatrice is a level 6 card, or rank 6. So if you open a more brickier hand with something like this, you can just use the Dark Magician Girl as part of the combo. Alright, making the ding. Actually, I probably should have used the, oh, it doesn't really matter, I grabbed one card, traded for yellow, never mind. Alright, activating the skill, we have 16 cards in the deck. And we now have 11 cards in the graveyard. So we're going to flip our Dark Magician Girl. This gives us a nice little animation. It's weird they gave us a new Dark Magician Girl artwork and didn't use it for the skill. I'm not sure why they did that. Alright, and then with Dark Magician Girl still on the field, make sure she's on the field, otherwise you can't activate the skill. We can now look at the top 11 cards of my deck and choose a floodgate. So we'll see which ones we hit. So we're looking for one in particular versus Blue Eyes, which honestly, I should probably be playing more copies of that particular trap card. There it is. Hit it perfectly. We can also grab non-fusion area. But we're going to grab the mutually affured destruction. Affured? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Affured? It's meant to be like a... I don't know. I don't know what that word means. Typical Australian education. Alright, and then we're going to make our IOP Masquerader using the Dingirsu. Actually, we can keep the... We are against Blue Eyes, so... We might even just summon the Ding back instantly. We'll see. The thing about removing... I'm probably should have kept Ding on the field here and not put him in the extra monster zone. Because Blue Eyes obviously puts the trap card on field, which can then pop your entire field if you let it. So we'll see what our opponent's doing here. I might just... summon Ding back instantly and equip a card to it, just so he can't get destroyed by his trap. Alright. So first things first, let's see what's in his hand. What do you got there, sir? Alright, has he got a Blue Eyes to even reveal? I don't even think any of that hand is particularly useful. What's he got? So he's got Kaya Man, so we don't want him to be able to reveal, and we have a negate ready. So we're just going to use the... Yeah, we'll just use the Chimera to revive the other Chimera, and then we'll revive the... No quick plays in hand, which is good. Revive this Chimera. And then we'll also... We'll just summon the Ding, so he can't put the Blue Eyes trap card on the field and just nuke our field. Summon this guy. Attach a material. Alright, we can also hand rip him for 1 here, which honestly isn't even bad. Let's hand rip him for 1. Give a nice little hand rip as well. Minus a Blue Eyes alternative. Alright. Good luck. So you can set a spell card which is usable. Obviously the trap card does nothing. True Light is... I don't even know what that's going to achieve. Attempt to use Kaiban, of course, we're just going to say no. We don't care about this trap card because we have the Ding on field, so we're just going to shuffle this away probably. Or shuffle away whatever he tries to put on field. True Light, we don't really care. She might just shuffle away whatever spell card he grabs. Yeah, we're just gonna go to the bingo machine. No reason to leave that on field. And play a bit faster so I don't time out, that'd be a good idea. That would be embarrassing. Discarding whatever we got in hand, get rid of this. And yeah, he can't even play the game whatsoever. So yeah, this is a very good example against one of the best decks in the game. You just search the Floodgate that deals with it, and you're good to go. This Floodgate's good against things like Blue Eyes, it's good against Shinobird, it's good against most meta matchups right now, so let's try to find another one. Alright, so we've spotted our next victim, a Speedroid player. So obviously against Speedroid, since I don't think they're a reveal skill, we want to grab our Discord card, which stops our opponent's synchro summoning. So hopefully we don't get hand trapped here, and then I can just sort of do it. We'll see. Activating my effect, searching my deck for my fusion. Alright, we're good to go. Yeah, so against most matchups, you just want the reveal trap. Even against most synchro decks and most fusion decks, you still just want the reveal trap card. Because even Branded or Sword Soul, if you just reveal their hand, they can't use their skills anyway. If I was going to build this deck somewhat more competitively, I probably wouldn't even bother playing the other two trap cards. I just want to show off that you can sort of, for example, in this matchup, just sort of search your deck and pick and choose which Floodgate you need for whichever matchup you're up against. But in all honesty, you just don't really need them. You really don't need them. Alright, we're going to use the effect of this guy to search for the missing dude. Yeah. Yeah, if I was going to build this more competitively, just would not bother playing the other ones. You just don't need them. It's actually kind of amazing just how strong that one trap card is right now, just looking at your opponent's hand. I'm pretty sure it was heavily used in the last KC Cup too. Or the one that literally just happened. Alright, we banished a dice. Okay. Oh, he'll get that back next turn anyway. But that just confirms we know for sure now he's playing Speedroid, in case anyone was confused. Chimera Fusion, summoning out the Phantom, using this one. And using this one. Yeah, I think it's probably better for me to be playing 3 of that one Floodgate anyway, because at the moment, in this particular deck, for example, I'm not even 100% guaranteed to hit the Floodgate that I'm choosing, that I'm looking for. So I'm only looking at the top, like, 10 cards or something. There's still, like, 7 other cards that it could be. You most likely hit it, especially considering you can also open it in your starting hand, but yeah. Alright, we'll send the Vision. Vision's then going to grab the spell. Activate the spell. Grabbing the trap. Alright, make the Beatrice. It's kind of crazy the Dark Magician Girl doesn't even start in the main deck either. And nice of KONAMI to do that, even if it does mean we don't get to use the new alt art that I believe got added. Alright, sending the Orcust. Orcust effect, banishing itself. Summoning the symbol. Right, another thing to note, by the way, with the reveal trap card is something that people don't notice all the time. Is if you're in a mirror match, the reveal trap card actually negates any cards in your opponent's hand that are the same as the cards in your hand. That's why it reveals in the first place. We're using it to obviously stop skills, but also in mirror matches, it's pretty funny. Also, or against like it forces out droplets and stuff, you keep a droplet in your hand. It's like a lot of people seem to miss with a trap card, so don't bother reading the rest of the effect. Alright, summoning this card to the field, and finally, gonna activate this, set our trap before looking at our top 10 and trying to hit a Floodgate. So hopefully we hit the Discord one, because that's one we need. There is 7 cards that might not be it, but we are favoured to hit it. 10 out of 17, that is some good odds. Alright. Activate Deck Master Dark Magician Girl. Look at the top 10. And our opponent is, no, not going to concede. Alright. Please, please. Discord, there it is. Neither player can synchro summon. Alright, so we're only scared of getting hit by a Cosmic now. Set the Discord, making the IP. Because we've kept like Ding on field to defend against things like MSTs or something. We're not going to bother playing around that stuff. Alright, activate this before he gets the dude back in hand. Snapdragon adds back that card, so we know one of the cards in his hand at least. Alright. So we don't necessarily need to use it instantly. We can sort of just wait. We will use the Chimera though. To summon the Chimera. We could summon the Invader actually. Yeah, we'll summon the Invader. And we'll use the Chimera to summon the other Chimera. Looks like he has to do quick plays anyway. But that would have forced out Droplet before the dude hit the field. Because obviously there's a Chimera, this card you need to have the Chimera effect live. You can't even play the game. Yeah, he posted on the Discord and decided he can't play. So yeah, that's basically what this deck does. If you look at the top whatever amount of cards in your deck list, choose a Floodgate of your choice, put it on the field. Most of the time, you're just going to choose the trap card that stops them revealing, because that kills off most decks. But if you want to do what I'm doing here and just play a whole little collection of Floodgates, you can do that too and basically choose whichever one you want for whatever matchup you're in. It's a disgusting skill. I actually do think the skill's kind of cool. It's just kind of sad that it's probably going to be abused for things like Floodgates, because there's still Floodgates in this game, but it is a cool skill, but maybe searching your entire deck for basically any card is going to cause some issues potentially. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, more videos soon. Thank you guys for watching. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.